Hey, what's up, peeps? It's Jen, and I'm here on a Wednesday afternoon for my first live Wednesday with wine. I thought I'd try this experiment and see how it goes. I would love it if you are here live to say hello, and definitely encourage you to have a little wine with me if you happen to have some in your cupboard. Right now, it's 4:30 my time, and I'm super lucky because I have a feeling that there is just this crazy amount of traffic going on out there. I'm not in it, which is awesome. Instead, I'm in my nice warm home, which is super comfy and kind of quiet right now because we just had a bunch of people over. We had this big lefse making party, which I'll be talking about here shortly, because I thought it would be fun today to talk about traditions. And one of the traditions our family has is to make lefse. And so if you happen to join me live, or even if you see this on the replay, tell me what your traditions are. I would love to know. Sometimes it's fun to try new traditions, almost like trying new experiments like this Wednesday wine series. Maybe this will be a new tradition for me. So anyway, let's get to the wine. I am drinking a Vihno Verde today. So I'm usually not a white wine connoisseur. I really prefer Pinot Noir. I'm like really picky about my wines. I like some of the reds, but that's really my favorite. And luckily here in Oregon, Pinot is one of our specialties. And, but I really do like this Vihno Verde. And basically Vihno Verde is kind of like a cheap wine from Portugal. And what I like about it is it has like this slight effervescent on the end, like not quite bubbly like Prosecco, but it's not flat. So it has this nice, like, not quite sparkly, but just close. And so it's really nice. I really, really love it. And the other thing I really like about it is that it is a low alcohol compared to other wines. So I can drink a whole bunch on a afternoon on on a Sunday or any day on a Wednesday. What I meant to say was on a sunny day, especially because when it's sunny outside, that's usually when I tend to like white wine. And in the winter, I usually tend to like red. But because I'm going to be enjoying some lefse with y'all, this is a really great wine with lefse. White wine, I don't think would be quite as good. Myself a little bit and get to it. And hey, if you happen to be joining me, I would also love to know if you're drinking wine and what kind, or tell me what else you might be drinking instead. Maybe you're drinking some coffee or gin and tonic. I don't know. I don't know. What's your flavor, people? Let me know. Okay, so lefse is basically a Norwegian pancake is what it's called, but it's really more like a tortilla. And this is what it looks like when it's done. And it's super tender, so it's a little bit softer than a tortilla would be. And that is because it's made of potatoes. It's basically potatoes and flour and a little bit of cream. That's essentially what's in the dough. So you just take potatoes and you boil them, and then you rice them, and then you mix them with the flour and cream, and then you put it in the fridge. And then the next day you roll it out into, basically these flat breads, and then you can use them for whatever you want. And so if you want to see how they're made, I actually captured it today on Snapchat. So follow me on Snapchat. I'll put that in the description below. And my Snapchat code is also, I think, on my YouTube picture. So it's easy to find me on Snapchat. And I actually captured my whole family here. So I have my sister and her kids and my brother-in-law, and my parents were here, and my hubby and my daughter and my niece and nephew and my Aunt Sheila. So my dad and his sister Sheila kind of started this tradition because my grandma E was the one who started making lefse, or probably, her parents started making lefse because she is the one who is Swedish, and she carried on the tradition. And so we now continue it. Now that she has passed away, we have continued on without her. And basically we have to have these big grills. They're like these huge, like a pancake grill, like it's a big grill like this that you put these things on to cook. And then you flip them over with a lefse stick. It's like this big stick. It looks like a spatula, but it's basically a big, long, flat stick. Hey, I see someone's here in the chat box. Hey, Jay and Sherry, you guys are both here. Welcome, welcome. I so appreciate you being here. Please tell me what you guys are drinking today, even if it's just water. I'm having a little Vihno Verde in case you missed me talking about that. And I'm talking about making lefse because today we made a bunch of lefse at our house. A little bit about traditions. If you guys have your own holiday traditions, please share with me. I am just talking about how our family makes lefse every year. And so my dad actually has kind of become to my grandma was this amazing cook. Like she was one of those people, like I'd go over to her house and I'd ask her to show me how to make something. And she'd be like, oh, you just put a pinch of this in, a dash of this. And she like literally didn't even have like the recipes because she just knew them all up in her head. And so anyway, so my dad is like kind of taken over for her. He's created and done a ton of the same recipes that she used to do. I mean, we would literally, my dad would go over to her house like probably every other day or so. He was a salesperson. And so he would just do it when he was out and about and visit with her. And like, he would come home like every other day with like a batch of cookies or some other yummy goodie at our house. And so anyway, but Lefse is kind of like warm and dear to our heart because it just reminds us of her and it reminds us of the holidays because we always had Lefse at the holidays. So let's see what you guys are talking about in the chat box. I want to join in the conversation. So, Sherry's talking about how she had Thanksgiving last Sunday. That's right. You mentioned that when I did my taco for breakfast video. I love it. And you had grandkids running all over the place. Yeah, it was really loud here not very long ago because my niece and nephew and my daughter were running around and our kitchen is not super big, but we had like 10 people in there. It was great. And like trying to like make the lefse and turn it over and like try not to get into crashes with each other. It's hilarious. So anyway, Sherry, I'm glad you had a fantastic Thanksgiving with your family. It's always fun to be around young kids, especially. I feel like they kind of help increase enthusiasm and innocence and just make the holidays so fun because they just have that fresh view on life, right? And it's just wonderful. So anyway, I thought I'd show you how I eat lefse. A lot of people will just put butter and sugar on it, and it's really delicious that way when it's warm, and that's how I like to eat it. And but some people, like my brother-in-law, who really loves spicy foods, like he'll put Tabasco on it and like wrap it around a hot dog or something. So it's truly kind of like a bread you can eat with anything. So so anyway, just take a little bit of butter, and it's, like I said, it's extra yummy when it's warm because it's so good when it's fresh. And in fact, a little known fact, or maybe it's not a little known fact, it was when I first found out that Krispy Kreme donuts are actually the secret ingredient, which obviously not so secret anymore. They are also made with potatoes. And so when I found that out, I was like, oh, that totally makes sense. Because if you've ever had a Krispy Kreme donut, it has like that melt in your mouth sort of texture to it, and lefse is the same way because it has that potato. The potatoes are so good. So tell me about your guys' traditions. But so I was just thinking about other traditions that my family does, I think another tradition that we always do is, and this isn't really necessarily a holiday tradition, but it kind of is. It's a summer holiday tradition. We go to a place called Susan Creek every year. We go camping there. I'm sure I talked about it on my channel. Tradition because our family goes there every year. Basically, when we were kids, we went down to Shasta. We were going to go camping. My parents used to love to go camping. They still do, but they really loved it then. And that's kind of how we took most of our family vacations. You can see I'm like really layered on the butter. This is going to be good. And anyway, we would go camping, and anyway, we were going to go down to Shasta, and it was a really dry summer, like 110 degrees, and the lake was like hardly any water, and we're like, forget this. Let's just go back up north. So we started driving around Southern Oregon, and then we basically came upon this place on the Umpqua River, and it's so gorgeous, and we've gone back every year since. So that's another tradition. More of a summer holiday tradition, but it's still a tradition. So you put a little sugar on it. So I don't like to put too much on it. So now if you make lefse, then the best way to store it is to put it in your fridge. And then you can reheat it up. I put it in the oven, or you can put it in the microwave, which we don't even have a microwave anymore because we got rid of ours because we realized we never really made anything in it except for hot water, which is like, it takes like 2 seconds to heat up hot water in the on the stove, right? It's so simple. So then you just take it and you just roll it up. I'll just show you here. So you just start rolling it up like this. And it's like this. And then you just take a bite. So good. All right, let's see what you guys are chatting about in the chat box. Let's see. I'm making you guys hungry. It is so good. Like I said, even if you're not a sweets person, it's so easy just to have it without the sugar, or to like wrap it around something like savory. It's so good. And Jay says he's not a very traditional person. And Sherry is talking about how you are doing more traditions that you have kids. Yeah, that totally makes sense. They've kind of exploded now that your kids are grown and have a family of their own. That's so true, because you kind of want to create this sense of tradition for your kids. And I think it has more to do with, it just creates sort of like awesome memories that like remind you of the awesome seasons, I think. And so anyway, yeah, I love it. And yeah, it's really fun to have new traditions. I agree. And I love that you want to start new traditions with me. Yes, let's start a new tradition, drinking wine on Wednesdays. What do you say, guys? I love it. Let's see. Sherry's also talking about how you started decorating your house for Christmas on Thanksgiving. Okay, this is hilarious. A couple years ago, we were shopping at this antique store. So the day after Thanksgiving, we often like to go shop at antique malls because, you know, the regular malls are kind of busy. And I love antique stuff anyway. My Christmas tree has a bunch of like old antique type ornaments on them. I love them. I think they're fantastic. And so anyway, we were there and I saw this like big, like plug-in glow Santa that I just fell in love with. And it's like this jolly thing. And it might be a little bit on the campy / cheesy side because it's this big blow up, you know, Santa. It's basically big plastic. It's not already blown up. It's big plastic thing. You plug it in and it like goes on your lawn or whatever. We always put it on our front porch. And so anyway, we usually wait until we get the Christmas tree until we put it up. And I don't know when we're gonna get our tree. I don't know if we're gonna get this weekend or not. We usually don't get it the weekend after Thanksgiving, but my hubby was joking about how he's going to plug it in tonight at midnight because it's time to get going on Christmas, which I think is kind of fun. So we'll see if he does it. I will report back to you to let you know. But I love this Santa. It just makes me happy to see it because it's like, I'll have to take a picture of it maybe and put it on my channel or maybe a quick video of it. But it is hilarious. It's like he's really jolly and happy and it's really cute. Anyway, so I'm excited for you that you're going to be decorating for Christmas this weekend. It's going to be a fun Christmas season. And you also make a special fudge that your mother made for Christmas and sugar cookies. Yeah, there's a lot of awesome traditions around food, isn't there? My aunt makes this amazing like butterscotch fudge, which is so good. I was thinking of something else that was a food thing for traditions. Now I can't remember what it is. I mean, chocolate for breakfast, right? There's a tradition. One you can have every day. And that involves food. I know, and I feel like I'm always eating food on my channel. I was talking about that recently because I'm always doing that. Although it makes it hard for me to talk when I'm chewing. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Yeah. Oh, and you cut down your tree. We used to do that too, because I grew up out in Boring, which is really not too far from Mount Hood. It's like a good 20-minute drive to the mountain. Like you could go skiing really quickly. And so we would go up to the mountains and like, we would get like a tree tag for like $3. And we would like, you know, I mean, we would get to the Christmas tree. And then we started doing that as we got older too, but then they like didn't let us just cut them down up on the old like logging roads up there. They basically would just stop letting like, you know, civilians do that. And so you'd had to go to a Christmas tree farm. There was tons of them around there though. And then we had this realization, like, why are we driving like an hour from our house near downtown Portland when there's like all these places that are doing that for you? They go with the trees for you. And so it makes it so much easier. Like this place like that was like 5 minutes away. Like you could walk there actually. And it was so much easier to just go get the tree and bring it back. It was like, okay, this is heaven. This is much easier. Let them go and cut it down. But I do think that'd be fun, Sherry. And skiing, right? Skiing's a tradition for you. I'm curious, Sherry, if you often ski on Thanksgiving or like the Thanksgiving weekend, because if so, that is an awesome tradition to celebrate every Thanksgiving. I know a lot of people do that. The other thing a lot of people do here in Oregon is they actually go to the wineries around here on Thanksgiving weekend because it's kind of harvest time, October, November, and a lot of great wine. There's a lot of great wines, obviously, in this area, but then a lot of wineries will celebrate the harvest season by having some big special events around Thanksgiving weekend. So that's something else a lot of people do around here. I think that'd be really fun. So, but actually, now that I'm thinking about it, one of my other traditions is we like to go antique shopping for Christmas, right? After Thanksgiving. So there's another one. Let's see what else. And Sherry is saying Wine Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I love it. And that is a tradition I can roll with. I can roll with that. I might not get live on video every single day, but I will imbibe the wine with you whenever I'm not on the channel anyway. So Sherry, you gotta tell me, if you are drinking wine, I gotta know what you're drinking. And you guys are talking about weed brownies. I love it. You've never tried them. I can't believe it, being a Northwestern girl, especially since it's legal here in Oregon and Washington. It's a lot easier to go have your brownies. I don't know why that came up. Anyway, let's see what else. Rolling back to make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, Sherry did talk about going skiing. So yeah, I love it. That's perfect. It's like I read your mind. Except for I know you've talked about skiing many times, so that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, thank you guys for joining me for the wine and lefse. Like I said, I highly encourage you to watch my Snapchat. If you don't follow me on Snapchat, follow me, Sherry. Get on Snapchat. It is so much fun. You don't have to post stories if you don't want to. It's just fun to talk to each other. They have the most hilarious filters on there, and it's just great. And anyway, I posted today on my chat, on my story. So your story, for those of you who don't, your story is basically where you post something for everybody to see. So it's kind of like your feed in Facebook. When you post something on your story, everybody can see it. And then, but a lot of people use Snapchat primarily just for the messaging to each other. Like my daughter and a bunch of probably more people her age, the youth, they use Snapchat more as a communication device. They don't even use, they don't really use message that much on Facebook. They don't use, I mean, they do use text messaging on their phones, but they use Snapchat almost more than text messaging because they can kind of video themselves in a certain environment or say something. And it's a kind of a really great, easy communication tool. So a lot of people use Snapchat just for the communication one-to-one stuff on your stories, for everybody who follows you can see what you post on your stories. So, and it only stays up for 24 hours. So then it comes down. So it's kind of timely for your audience. So anyway, that is it for today, guys. I'm excited to continue this and see how it goes and enjoy some wine with my audience. So again, if you're watching this on the replay, let me know what your traditions are. I'd love to know, and hopefully this will be a new one that we can continue together. All right, thanks for joining. Make sure there's one more. Any last notes? Not really. Okay, cool. Thanks, you guys. We'll see you next week. Bye.